Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. This is the show where I do quick reviews for the movies that I watch, give them a score out of 10, and then add them to my list. So let's see what movie I'm reviewing today. On June 14th, I watched The Trial of the Chicago 7, which came out in 2020. There's already so many great, based on a true story movies, but this one centers around a hugely important trial that I'd never heard anything of, so you can color me intrigued right off the hop. Plus, it's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, and The Newsroom is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, so I had a pretty good feeling I was going to like this one. Even beyond The Newsroom, Sorkin's movie game is no joke either, with Moneyball, Social Network, The American President, and A Few Good Men, all being examples of movies I liked very much in spite of some subject matter that I would normally find boring, along with some actors that are pretty far from my favorites. They all had one thing in common though, that same tight, smart, fast-paced dialogue that has become Aaron Sorkin's true trademark. It's both a bit risky and bold to base a movie on a trial, since most of what occurs in the courtroom should probably come verbatim from the transcripts. And from what I've heard, that's basically what we get here, except that it actually had to be toned down and shortened to fit the film. So rather than thinking they might have added more to make it more than it was, it's good to know the opposite is more likely to be true here. It's always good to know that it wasn't overdone by Hollywood, since there was clearly more than enough in the truth to keep this one entertaining. Out of the 7 men, 8 at the start being charged, I only recognize 2 of the actors, Sacha Baron Cohen playing Abby Hoffman, a real-life person perfectly suited to be portrayed by Cohen's bizarre style, and John Carroll Lynch as David Dillinger, one of the most underrated supporting actors ever in my opinion. Joseph Gordon-Levitt does his usual solid job as the young hotshot prosecutor Richard Schultz. It's actually a bit crazy how young Levitt still looks. His character is probably the most interesting throughout too, as he clearly has some reservations about the way the trial plays out. So it's super compelling seeing a man trying to do the right thing and eventually realizing he might be on the wrong side of history. The trial is ultimately all about trying to convict these 7 men for inciting a riot near the DNC in hopes of forcing the Democrats to elect a candidate that could get them out of Vietnam. It ended up being about so much more though, with the trial devolving into one of the most insane circus political trials ever. It was essentially putting the entire hippie culture up for debate. The ringleader of the whole thing being Judge Julius Hoffman, portrayed wonderfully by Frank Langella, in what I have to consider the best acting performance in the film, which is impressive because there was quite a bit of talent on display here. It's got to be a bit harder portraying such an irredeemable, prejudiced character that you just know the audience is going to hate, but he did it so damn well. It was impossible not to have some real genuine hate for him in the end. This was easily one of the most difficult for me to believe movies based on a true story that I've ever seen, but it's also probably one of the most accurate, so it's just mind-blowing. If you know nothing of the true story here, you need to check this one out. And if you have any reservations about Sacha Baron Cohen playing a more serious role, you should research the real-life Abby Hoffman, because he was never really a serious person, so I definitely think Sacha was the right choice here. I don't think it'll be as good on rewatch, but the first time through was something special. I gave this one a 7 out of 10, and it landed at number 251 on my list, putting it right here. In between Thank You for Smoking and The Great Debaters. And as always, thanks for watching. Hey everyone, thanks for watching another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. Be sure to click like and subscribe for new videos every week. And if you have a movie that you really want me to watch, be sure to drop me a comment.